Alright, today, hello, first of all, it is July, not 11th, but July 10th. This video is actually, it's kind of fun because I'm doing this in tandem with another video, but also is a replacement because this is a very last minute idea that I'm having right now. That was actually supposed to happen later this month, but the video I had planned that's supposed to go tomorrow, that I was supposed to edit today, I was editing it, and I hated it. So, yeah. So we're doing this instead. Basically, I'm sure the title says, we're gonna be doing a 12-hour readathon. Specifically, I didn't grab the book, let me grab it real quick. Specifically for this, The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. Now, why are we reading this? One, because I've wanted to read it for years and just never got around to it for no other reason than I just didn't. I'm currently peeling off this freaking half price book sticker. And two, because I started reading it specifically because I was talking about it with one of my coworkers, and it's one of her favorite books. And she was talking about it and telling me all the good things about it, and I was very intrigued. I'm like, okay, well, this is the first person that I've met in person who's read it and talked about it with me, and she was so enthusiastic and I trust her opinion, so I was like, let me read it. So she brought me her copy and was letting me borrow it, but then I was like, I need to be annotating this book. So when I was in Washington earlier this year, we went to Half Price Books and I bought my own copy. What this clip is going to be me telling you, because even though I've been reading it, I haven't read it in like eons, and I'm only 10 chapters deep into this, so like this much of the book. And as you can see, I've started tabbing, or I guess you can't see, but you can see now, I've started tabbing it. I'm gonna go back and put different tabs because these tabs are garbage and not good for this. The point of this clip, all that rambling aside, is for me to tell you my thoughts thus far in this book, in the 10 chapters that I've read, and then the rest of it's gonna be me live reacting to it. There will be spoilers because it's my vlog and I want to. Yes, I write in my books and annotate and all that stuff and highlight. If you don't like that, cry about it. Basically, what's happened so far, her parents were killed by, I guess you'd say, her stepfather. Her older sister is her half-sister. The man who killed her parents is her older sister's father, because her mother was a human who was married to this man. He came to get her back and her sister and his daughter. In the process, he ended up killing mom and the father, and then the human dad. And because he's like, well, you guys are my responsibility now, he took all the children to the Fey realm and raised them. But like, older sister, she's a baddie. She's like, I'm not dealing with this foolishness. I'm gonna do what I want when I want because I can, which is true because she's half fairy, or because she's his biological daughter, and like there's nothing really, he's not gonna do anything to them. But because the two twins are human and not blood children, they're like fully in like danger at all times, pretty much. They are treated like royalty pretty much, because like noble children though, because this Fey man has fully adopted them. But they're still constantly in danger because they're humans. Fairies, these are like biblically accurate fairies, if you will. Like, they're not like we're not reading about Sarah J. Maas Fae or like any other like romance world Fae kind of situation. No, these are like legit fairies, like not just like Tinkerbell or elves, basically. These are vicious, conniving, can only tell the truth, like fairies, okay? Some of them have horns and some of them have wings, and some of them are just the beautiful elf-like beings that exist. But the point being is that they are just really intense, really freaking intense so far, and I'm eating it up. But basically, we're following Jude, which is one of the twins, and she's just trying to find her place in the fairy world, because she doesn't want to go back to the human world because she's been raised here, like in the fairy world, her whole life. She doesn't even know how to act in the fairy world, which we do see. And when she does go back to visit, she doesn't know how to act, and that's not her fault completely, but like, girl. And so she's trying to find her place, and what she wants to do is become one of the king's knights, because then she would get the respect that she wants. People wouldn't be able to like take advantage of her and hurt her or her sister, her twin sister specifically. Her older sister is fine. They would be safe, according to her. And her biggest op in this whole thing, honestly, everybody is an op in the story, and it pisses me off. But her biggest off is, in fact, the title character, the cruel prince. What is his freaking name? I'm me forgetting his name. Carden. Prince Carden is his name. This far into the story, the amount of rage I feel toward Prince Carden. Now, I'm going into the story with the whole full knowledge that this man is meant to end up with Jude, that they are meant to be together, that they are meant to end up together. I know that because when I was hearing about this story all those years ago, that was like the main point. Like people were like, oh my gosh, the enemies to lovers is right? And so I know that. But the thing about it, and that's part of the reason I didn't read it, is because I'm like, I'm not really a romance girly. I prefer my books to be plot A being the everything, and then like plot B or C being the romance. But then I talked to my coworker and she's like, when I'm telling you, the romance is, one, not the main point of the story, and two, is slow burn as all get out. And I'm just like, yes, because if I love any kind of romance, it's a slow burn. As frustrating as it can be, I eat that ish up. Oh my gosh, I eat it up. So now I'm reading this. But thus far in the story, I have done nothing but feel complete and utter rage and irritation toward Prince Carden. This individual, just thinking about him makes me sick to my stomach. I hate it. I hate it. I'm just gonna go through and kind of look at certain passages and read my thoughts that I've left, because as I said, I've annotated. Oh, okay. So yeah. So there's like lots of characters. I'm just gonna kind of pinpoint some random moments in the story that had me shooketh. So I think the first scene that's not the prologue where their parents die is, well, the first important scene where I put my first annotation is they're at this ball or whatever the F, with their father, stepmother, and all the fake court people and all that stuff. Some crazy ish happens, and this random fae decides he wants to laugh at Carden for some reason. And Carden, being the lovely individual he is, rips this dude's wings off in front of everybody at the party. Now, one would think that people would react and like be like, dude, what the heck? Maybe his parents, like the king or one of his older siblings, somebody. But no, everyone just sees this, looks shocked, watching this dude scream on the ground without his wings as Carden and his little entourage walks off. And then they continue, because I guess that's just how Carden is. And I'm just like, the F? But the part that gets me is that like they're chilling, whatever. They're moving on from this moment. And one of Carden's little goons or whatever, his little friends, locks eyes with Jude. This individual's name is Locke, and he's like the big, strong, like stoic, quiet one in the little popular kid group, right? And so they like lock eyes, and Jude is like, what the heck? What is happening? Like, she's like he's looking at her, and like usually they try to avoid this kind of situation. Like, they don't want to look at them, because if they look at them, they'll like bully them, because they're humans and the fae are not nice. And so like she locks eyes with him. She's like, oh shoot. But instead of like, getting angry or using that as an opportunity to like bully her, he just smirks as if they are like exchanging a secret. Like, that's what it literally says. I brace myself for scorn, but then one corner of his mouth lifts. He winks as if in acknowledgement of being caught, as if sharing a secret. And so literally what I wrote here was, I don't even know if you can see it. It says, what the F is happening? Because what do you mean what is like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm going into this knowing that she's supposed to end up with Carden. Why is Locke looking at her, grinning and winking at her? What is going on here? I didn't like that. Not because I'm like pro Carden and Jude, because I want just Jude to be happy. No, I'm pissed because who is this and why are you looking at her at all? Freaking weird. Anyway, moving on. Moving on to my favorite lines of the entire story thus far, and it's like and it happens 30 pages in. They're describing all of the Jude is describing all of the little members of the little princess clique, right? And we get to Carden's description. And cause I was at work when I was reading this, I read this and I had to close the book, I think, for the rest of the day. I was flabbergasted. I was enraged. And at the same time, I was like, I've never read a better description of a man in my life that truly portrays how beautiful he is, but then made me viscerally angry the same way I think Jude feels. So I'm going to read this to you as well because I can. And you have no choice because you're watching. I guess you could click off, but like, can you not do that? I'm like in the middle of something. If you heard that, I'm so sorry. You're on my phone and this tripod is a whole thing. But anyway, so basically she's describing all of them and she gets to Carden. He's like, and Carden is even more beautiful than the rest, with black hair as iridescent as a raven's wing, and cheekbones sharp enough to cut a girl's heart. I hate him more than all the others. I hate him so much that sometimes when I look at him, I can hardly breathe. Stop. Phone, relax. I'm in the middle of something. What I wrote here, I wrote in all caps, excuse me, question mark, exclamation point. Circled cheekbones sharp enough to cut a girl's heart. And then wrote next to like, when I can't, like, I hate him so much I can hardly breathe. I'm like, you sure that's not love? And then the next thing I highlighted after that whole thing is on the next freaking page. And it's basically like her talking about how she is afraid of like the fae and the fairies and stuff like that. And how she does fear them. And she was raised to fear them. And like, especially she was raised by the man who murdered her family, brought into this world where everybody pretty much can and will try at least once to kill her. And she's like, if I didn't pretend not to be scared, I would hide under my owl down coverlets in Maddox estate forever. I would lie there and scream until there was nothing left of me. I refuse to do that. I would not do that. Judah's the baddest of baddies. I cannot, like, I'm 10 chapters into this book, and she is in fact one of my favorite female characters that I've ever read. Oh, this slide is basically her talking about periods. Sorry if you're a man watching this. Actually, I'm not. I'm not sorry, okay? Cry about it. No, but for my girlies, it's her talking about how it's annoying. She's like, I know what you're wondering. No, they don't bleed once a month. Yes, they do bleed annually. And basically her talking about how they just don't have to deal with periods as often as humans do. And I circled this paragraph because clearly it enraged me. And I wrote, that ain't fair, because I hate them as much as you, Jude. I was infuriated. Like, this was such a random detail. Like, I was mad for her because not only does she have to deal with this every month, but like she gets to watch them do it once a year, and then they get to be happy and chill and not want to. I mean, I guess they can want to commit murder all the time, but it's just like, what? No, yeah. So that enraged me. Probably more than it should have. Oh my god. Okay. Another moment that I didn't tab in here, I think solely because it enraged me beyond reason, which is surprising. So there's this like big tournament coming up in the Fae realm, I guess. She beat this whore, and I was pissed. And obviously, her beating freaking Carden didn't sit well with him because he's a baby back baby. But like, basically, Carden is pissed and is telling her, you need to like basically apologize, beg. He's like, beg. Oh my god. Telling her in front of everybody that you need to beg for my forgiveness. He's like, get down on your knees. Carden says, looking insufferably pleased with himself. His fury has transmuted into gloating. Beg, make it pretty, flowery, worthy of me. I'm gonna throw up. You're telling me I'm supposed to end up liking this man? Or at the very least, okay with him being with her after how he's treated her? After what he said about her sister? Be so effing for real. Also, I haven't even acknowledged how I look. Ignore. And then baby girl is like, beg? She's like, beg. And then there's a whole little shenanigan. And then I highlighted a whole like 3 paragraphs. I'm not gonna read through all of it. But instead, basically, she's telling him to kick rocks, eat dirt. You may win in the end. You may encircle me and hurt me and humiliate me. But I will make sure you lose everything. That you lose everything I can take from you on the way down. I promise you this. I throw his own words back at him. This is the least of what I can do. Judas, I've been saying this ironically for like years at this time, that we love women's rights, but we also support their wrongs. This is quite literally that in every way possible, because I want nothing more than for her to show how vicious she can be to these freaking fairies who continue to play in her face. It's getting on my absolute last nerve. But yeah, that's where we are so far. Drew's a spy now, which is cool. I don't know how Carden's probably gonna be pissed, but I don't care about him. I don't know how Taran, her sister's gonna react. I don't know how Vivi's gonna react. Vivi might be okay, lit. Matic is probably gonna be annoyed. He's gonna probably be pissed. I don't care about his feelings either. Matic is annoying. I don't hate Matic, but I do dislike him. Taran, I feel like Taran's definitely gonna be a problem. Like, she is not a girl's girl. She's not at all. Like, she would sell her soul and her twin sisters. Anyway, that was a long long clip, but I needed to get all that out so that people weren't talking and whining about me like not starting from the beginning. Those are the thoughts. That's what I have so far. And yeah, I will get back to this when my freaking tabs get here. Hello. I'm currently on a mini break because my friend has me listen to this song. But I've read exactly like 1.5 pages of chapter 11, and all I need to know and update you on is that Taran, catch me outside. Catch me outside. She's just getting under I hate her almost as much as I hate Carden. But almost more, because how can she be like this? But whatever. Maybe I might be being too harsh. But I don't care. I really don't. So, yeah, those are my only thoughts. No, because I know I said I was in rage before. I am sick to my stomach now with what's just happened. So she just ate the fruit, like I guess the fairy fruit or whatever the F, and apparently Dane's freaking spell, the ward that he put on her, doesn't do anything against that. So now she's at school alone because her sister didn't show up because screw Taryn, and she's under the spell of this fairy fruit ish, and they like have her like doing embarrassing things, which whatever, but like they have her literally take off her clothes, so she's just standing there in her underwear. She's all like in a daze, thinking that she's basically obsessed with that, like just wants to make them all happy. It's so gross. It makes me, I was borderline shaking. Like, I know I'm so dramatic, really, I'm so dramatic, but it's just, I hated everything that was happening, and there was nothing she could do. Like, she could literally do nothing. And then suddenly Locke decides that kissing Carden's feet is the extent of the embarrassment that he is willing to endure watching her go through. Didn't stop Nicasia and Valerian from shoving the fruit in her mouth. Didn't stop them from telling her to strip in front of the entire, like, everyone, but decided that Carden getting anything from this was his limit. And so Locke is weird, because I feel like he just has this weird vendetta against Carden specifically, which fine, because same, but also you sat there through everything else they were doing to her, and now suddenly you want to take her home and like stop the embarrassment. I was gonna wait until the end of the chapter to discuss, but I didn't want to forget my thoughts and how I'm feeling right now. would Matic get angry enough to actually kill Cardin, Nicasia, and Valerian? Like, would he actually get that mad? Like, does he genuinely love her? Because it's like, the way he was angry, yes, okay, we love that. I love that he was genuinely mad about what happened. However, if she were to tell him exactly who did that to her, would that anger last, or would his duty as a royal knight actually get in the way and like push those feelings down? Like I want to know. I kind of wish she would have told him so I could see how he would react. But if he like, I guess she's right in like if he actually did act on those things, she would be worse off. I need more fatherly vibes from Matic because I did eat up that whole little scene where she was just sitting there keeping it from them, but it also hurt my feelings, like him being like, tell me like tell me what will help, Jude, tell me and I will do it. Like he actually, not him actually caring. Okay, just finished chapter 12 and Belkin. No, because I'm actually annoyed because it's like it's the way that we're witnessing him abusing Cardin. And first of all, not Holly sitting here making me actually feel things other than hatred for Cardin. Somehow I knew that Cardin was probably like not didn't have the best home life because why else would you be so disgusting? But this was kind of rough to watch. Not as rough as Jude's scene. I still don't forgive him for that. But there's this line. Jude says it doesn't make me like him any better, but it for the first time he seems real, not good, but real. That line perfectly encapsulates how I feel about this whole thing, about this whole little scene we got between Balakin, and Cardin. Do I feel bad? Yes. It sucks that this is how he is being raised. Does it justify any singular bad thing that he has done ever, specifically to my girl Jude? Absolutely freaking not. Okay? No, I don't like him. No, I don't forgive him. Do I understand more? Yes, because also the last paragraph is like he has come by his cruelty honestly in Balkan's care, and however horrible Cardin might be, I now see what he might become, and I am truly afraid. Yeah, because it's like she mentions how they look so much alike when they stand next to each other, and basically she's seeing like Cardin's future if this continues, and that's I hate Balkan. I hate Balakin, whatever, however you say his name. I hate him. Okay, guys. So the original plan was to stay up all night and read. However, I'm actually getting tired, and the thought of drinking any of my caffeinated beverage that I have kind of makes me feel sick. So we're gonna sleep, and we're just gonna wake up like my alarm goes off and get back to reading and recording. But I am enjoying myself. I really like what's happening. We're about to meet, I guess, the rest of the what is known as the Court of Shadows. The Court of Shadows, which is like, I'm guessing why later in the third book, or at least the title of the third book is called Queen of Shadows, if I'm not stupid, which is Slay. We love that. I'm excited to see who else is here. I think there's two other Fae in the like right now that we've seen, but it's like they didn't really describe them before we ended the chapter because we ended on chapter 13. Met Roach, who is I guess another spy of Prince Dane. I still don't trust Prince Dane. Of course, immediately, like, we just got this freaking Gias or whatever put on her so that no other fairies could glamour her, and he immediately does it. He glamours her, and it's obvious, it's not in the way that it's like, oh, he's trying to take advantage of her. It was a glamour to tell her that she wasn't allowed to tell anybody about working for him or any of the things that she finds out and this, that, and the other, which makes sense, and even she acknowledges it. But then she talks about how Matic, her stepfather, never did that. Even when it got difficult and the children got annoying, he never in the entire time that she's lived with him has ever glamored her or her sister. Yeah, so like that gave her the ick. That gave her the ick. She was like, maybe this was not the best idea. But whatever, she works for him now, and there's nothing really she can do about it. Also, Balakin is blackmailing Nicasia's mom, apparently, but I don't really care about that part. Well, I do, because like, what does he have on her? It's very interesting, but I'm gonna be real, that doesn't directly involve Jude, at least not at this moment, and so therefore I don't care. And I know I'm here for I know I said I was here, I like the idea that this was in it, like, about a romance, and I'm here for the politics. I actually am, but I want them to involve Jude more. I'm here for Jude. I'm not here for the romance. I'm not here for the status of the Fae Kingdom unless it directly impacts my girl. But no, I am. I'm enjoying myself, and it's very interesting thus far, because we're starting to get into the nitty gritty of the politics. Like, we just stepped our toe into there, because Balakin is the worst and is trying to obtain poison to ice what we assume is to kill Dane so that he can be king. And also, check out my first of all, these are the colors that I chose, because I got a giant pack of, what are they, of tabs, and it came with a bunch of different color combinations and stuff like that, and this is the color combination I chose for Cruel Prince, because I felt like they were like kind of foresty, naturey kind of colors, and kind of matched the vibe of like the cover a little bit, like with the browns and the kind of dark gold and that greenish blue from the bug and stuff like that. And I freaking love it. This is so good. Like, I love it so bad. And then, like, this is what they look like in the book so far. I've been tabbing quite a bit. I need to spread them out more. Loving this. I'm having a grand old time. Also hating it, but it's great. I'm having fun. But yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep because I want to be in the right state of mind when I'm reading this, rather than like exhausted. And no, because I've literally been up for like 5 minutes max and started reading. Why do I love the Court of Shadows already? Like, this is probably the nicest anyone has been to Jude, and the most like just cordial that anyone has been to Jude this entire freaking book. Like, they literally haven't done anything, but like they've just been freaking decent. The way that the bare minimum. This book has me effed up for real. I can't even. Okay, I know I said that I would be more presentable next time, like, you saw me, but like, I got up out of my bed and immediately came to my desk to start reading. And first of all, here's the thing, not much has happened. We met I think the last clip was me showing you a passage of me kind of geeking out over the Court of Shadows. I like them. I've known them for 2 seconds, but in that 2 seconds, they didn't bully my girl. And so, green flags, right? But now we're home, and like, freaking, why the F is Locke at her house playing with her sisters and her little brother? 1. And 2, he's getting bolder, guys, because like, it was one thing when he was just like stealing random glances and stuff like that and making side comments, but now like he's actively like talking to her, saving her from the others, walking her home, being at her house when she's not there. And why is this mofo trying to kiss her right now? I can't. Locke, in case I don't know if I said his name, Locke, the one, like, I don't trust him. And maybe it's because I know deep down in my soul that she's supposed to be with Cardin later. But it's like, is this meant to be some kind of weird love triangle? Because I was not warned about that. I was not told. And I will be, if there's ends up being some kind of horrendous love triangle, like, it's probably not going to be horrendous, because I feel like people would have definitely spoken about that. Like, if there was a love triangle list, I feel like people would have said so. But whatever the heck is happening, I don't like it. I don't trust Locke is my issue. It's because with the others, they're wholly and completely terrible. Okay? They're bad. They show every single bad thing about themselves to us. Locke, however, is this quiet, like, individual who he's like, it's it's a kind of peace or whatever the heck he said last chapter, to be with them, like they can do whatever they want and they won't do anything to him kind of situation, which fine, okay, but like then he's out here suddenly deciding he wants to be nice to Jude and flirt with Jude and try and kiss her, because it's like, it's not like he just freaking met her. They've known each other for years. And now all of a sudden in the confines of this book, he's whatever the F is happening now. I hate it. I got so like distressed by this man that I gave him a whole sticky note. I haven't put any I've only been doing tiny little notes in like the margins of the story this entire time and highlighting things and underlining. But this man has me so stressed out that I have put an entire sticky note commenting like, why is he like questioning his motives, because I don't understand. And am I overthinking this? Potentially. It could be nothing. I doubt that, because from what I'm getting from Holly Black, not a single detail in this story is nothing. I'm only 134 pages in. I'm in distress, and I'm already stressed out even more so because I don't have book 2. So I can't like immediately start, which is honestly for the best. Point is, I've had time to sleep, and so I've calmed down after the ish yesterday, and I've been able to kind of push it away, kind of like Judas, the things of yesterday. Now I'm sitting here like worked up because of freaking Luke, or not his name, Luke. His name's not Luke, Locke. Because why are you trying to kiss her? I have to finish the rest of the page because there's probably a lot more in there, but like I think it's because he's being nice and nobody else has been this nice to her, and definitely not this like flirty. Like, I don't know what to do with this. I know that he can't glamour her because of the gas Dane gave her, but that doesn't mean she can't just be naturally glamored just by, you know, some attractive guy just being attracted to her. Like, she's still a girl. So, unfortunately, she is now just at the natural whims of her attraction. Oh, and also sorry to Kendra specifically, because I just like messaged you in the Discord and was like, did you read the book? You said no. And I know that you are like the only one of my friends who has been consistently watching my videos. So like, I don't know how good your memory is, but sorry if you wanted to read it and now it's spoilery, because now I feel bad for making this a spoilery vlog. But it is what it is. No turning back now. Be so freaking for real. No, she did not just tell Jude to be happy for her. I don't care what the circumstances are. Jude or Taran does not get to say that to her after all of the crap she's given Jude this entire story so far. Be happy for you? Absolutely not. I'm not. Because one, you're still not telling your sister the truth, whoever this mysterious individual is, and you're fake as hell. Oh my gosh, she's the worst sister ever. What kind of twin is this?
I don't understand why I'm in trouble here. No, I need you to watch this. Watch the way that this occurs. What is this? What are you guys doing? Who doesn't stand on it? Is it just me that you're like, I feel like maybe it's just me that doesn't do that. Do you guys do that?
So we're taking a minor break. We're stopping on page 16. We might go sit outside. We are gonna go sit outside because the grass is cut outside and I just need to not be in the house. But I have my car to go anywhere, so we're gonna go outside and sit on the front porch and crash out over Jude and her shenanigans. Not a whole lot has happened. She's starting to practice with poisons, not like using them on people, but using them on herself to grow an immunity, I guess, and like make them less effective, which is litty titty. Cardin's obsessed with her already, which we knew, but seeing that note, like, we know now. Like, man is obsessed, and when they do actually, like, when he does actually decide that, like, oh, maybe I don't hate her, but I'm like in love with her, he is absolutely going to be falling first, and he is absolutely going to be falling the hardest. Like, he is already this obsessed, and that's insane. She's done some training with Matic, which we love. She's getting better with her sword. Love it. And she's done some training with the ghost, which the ghost isn't an actual ghost. He's a I think half fairy, half human individual, and his code name in the Court of Shadows is the Ghost. We've got the roach, we've got the ghost, we've got the bomb, and then we have Jude. Jude hasn't earned her nickname yet. She'll get it eventually. I am so excited to see what that ends up being. I really hope we get it in this book because I want to know what we're gonna be calling her, you know, and need to know what my next Discord name is gonna be, you know. So now we're gonna get dressed because we don't want to look like this anymore today. So be right back. We're dressed. Let's go outside. Okay, we're back inside now, but that might not last because I kind of liked it outside and it's kind of cool inside. But the point is, I don't like the things that are happening. I don't like the things that are happening because it's like it's not what I came here for. What I came here for, not and then I'm not saying it's like bad. Like it's not like bad writing, bad content. It's actually really like fascinating and interesting to read. But it's like I'm just like me personally, my emotions don't like this, okay? Because I came here for Jude to be a baddie and be trying to take down all the Fae or the take down the folk and that stuff and the politics. I just got an entire super long chapter about her little romance with Locke, and it's like it was one thing when it was like stolen winks, like I said, and like even when like apparently they started like kissing and stuff. It's like okay, this was a whole chapter of that. Like, dude brought her to his house, brought her up to a tower. They were like full making out and almost other things. And I just hate everything that's happening. And now she's at a party with him in his maze. The others are there, but Cardin's drunk and with some other girls. Nicasia is Nicasia-ing and Valerian's not there. Point is, I hate this. I hate this. Am I supposed to like? No, because like something else that I realized while I was outside setting you down is that it is very good that I didn't read this as a teenager, like in high school, because this would have messed me up. Because I might not have even finished it because of the fact that I don't like anyone except for Jude. Like, okay, my apologies. My freaking camera died. What was I saying? Oh, I'm glad that I didn't read this as a teenager because I don't think I would have had a good time. There's so many things that I hate about what's going on, but like in the best way possible. The way that everyone treats Jude, enraging. The other characters and just how they exist in this world, infuriating. But it's just like me at 25 with more emotional stability, crazy I know, is having a good time with this and cannot wait to see what happens next. But the feeling of perpetual distress and worry that I am in constantly reading this book would have overwhelmed my little high school self. Like I am every time anything happens, even if it's in like no matter what, every time any Jude does anything, even if it's like taking one step ahead, I'm waiting anxiously for it to backfire or for there to be retaliation or for her to like get into trouble or get in trouble for it because that's all I've been given from the moment this story started. She has been going through it, and like even her, like she talks about how she's in a perpetual state of panic, and that's just how she is. She would be worried, she wouldn't know what to do if she didn't have it, and it's like I love that Holly Black is able to inflict that feeling onto me while I'm reading this, and it's great. And like I don't know if I'm meant to like be pro Locke right now. It's like maybe he does actually really like her because I guess he can't lie, but it's like I don't trust him as far as I can throw him, and I don't think I could throw him very far. He even said like he's part of the squad of Cardin and whatever for the dramatics, and so he wants a good story, and if the one that's before him isn't interesting enough, he makes it so it's like this whole thing could be him just trying to get a good story. Like maybe he does find her attractive, okay, but I doubt the feelings are as deep as this is making a seem. And I hate, it's like, and Jude, I have to remember, she's 17. She is a child. She's a girl. She's just a girl. And this is now a pretty boy who suddenly is interested in her. But I hate this. As an outsider looking in and watching her and being worried for her, I don't know when the shoe's gonna drop, but I know it's gonna. Little me would have been eating this up. Would have been like, oh my gosh, I love Locke. I'm swooning. Like all those little stolen glances and comments and stuff from early in the book, younger me would have been like, oh my gosh, like Locke and Jude forever. But I know better. Well, only because like this book has been out for eons and like I know the context. But also, as I've grown older, I've grown, I would say, less naive and more cautious and more worried of everyone and everything. And in a world where they have consistently proven that they don't like you, that they want nothing more than to use you as entertainment such as toys and or kill you, I will not, okay? Until they, I don't even know what Locke would have to do to make me trust him. We could get to the end of the series and they're still together and I probably still wouldn't trust him. I feel everything way too freaking much. So it's viscerally hurting me. Like my chest is tight, okay? Because I can't see how this is going to go. And I can't, and it's like I can visualize what could possibly happen, but I don't want to because it's upsetting. Because it's not going to end well. It's not going to end well. And I need it to hurry up and end. I need them to not be. But at the same time, I know that that's going to like hurt her really bad. It's only been like, what, I guess a couple months now that they've been doing this. Because we had like a little time skip situation. So they've been like dating for like a couple months. The point is, I hate this. Valerian tried to kill her. I don't think I mentioned that. Like, actually kill her. Again, like, he tried to use his glamour to get her to admit that Carden won and then jump out of a building. Obviously, she didn't because the glamours don't work on her anymore unless they're done by Dane. And then he tried to choke her. Tried to choke her and she stabbed him. That was everything. Like, also after giving him a little mini monologue, like not as heat as the one she gave Carden, but definitely like she was not putting up with his bull because she can't be glamored and he didn't understand why. And he was just getting so mad and she's just like, kick Roxy dirt, stabby stab. And Taryn, as per usual, did absolutely nothing. She wasn't technically in the room when this happened, but the thing is she knew that Valerian was going to do something to her, and our girl was asleep, and Taryn did nothing to wake her up. And she even was coming back to see what Valerian did to Jude. If Valerian had been successful, if Jude didn't have that Gias, she would be dead. And I 120,000% would be blaming Jude. Be blaming Tarn. I know technically Jude has been like antagonizing these people, but like 100% they started it. She's been defending herself, if anything. And for Jude to just be okay, leaving her in the clutches of freaking Valerian after he has already made an attempt on her life with the freaking fruit. Tarn doesn't give a single F about Jude at all. And I won't forgive her. And then Emma, my friend and coworker who has me reading this, like I told her I still hate Jude like 5 chapters ago, like when I first started reading this last night. And she was like, update, same. Only informs me that Taryn, in fact, does not get better, which I hate, because I hoped that there would be a moment where, like, you know, Taryn wouldn't be the absolute worst character in this book. Now I know that that's not true, because at the very least, we know that Carden becomes a love interest. Taryn is her sister and is absolutely useless and the worst. And for her to sit here and tell, like, first of all, Taryn has a boyfriend or something, some secret lover that's supposed to like ask for her hand at the coronation, whatever. Jude is worried because she doesn't know who it is, and it's like, what if they're bad? What if they treat her badly? Like, you know, logical sister-ish. Jude, like, Taryn has the audacity, the gall to be like, be happy for me. How dare you? You're never even remotely supportive or happy for Jude in anything she does. For you to look her in the face and say, be happy for me, when when she has a like, it's like, I guess Jude has or Taryn has legit reasons to be worried about Jude, but like, at least at least Jude tells you almost everything that she can about the situations that she goes through. I'm not happy for you, Taryn, because I guarantee that whatever this is gonna end up bad, and I don't like you. I don't wish death on you, but until Jude gets her happiness and at least her comfort, I don't want you to be comfortable or happy either. So yeah, those are my thoughts. This is how much I've read. This is how much I have left. No, because at this point, I'm starting to wonder who the cruel prince on the cruel prince that the story is named after really is, because I hate all of them. I hate all of them. All of these like fairy princes, I want them dead. I'm so sick. And chapter 17 was so stressful, and for that, the way it ended. Anyway,
So she just killed Valerian. Like, stabbed him in the heart. 10 out of 10 for me.
just got a really cute little father-daughter moment between Jude and Matic. I'll admit, Matic has shut up on the list of characters that don't make me sick. Oriana as well, his wife, the stepmom, her as well. Thus far, they're the only ones who have shown even, like, they're the ones who show that they kind of at the very least care about Jude. Also, Jude has now 2 bodies under her belt. Yeah, that happened all in like one chapter, I think. Also, we just got some crazy lore about biological mom and biological father, which was really fun. And Jude got a new sword that was made by her biological father. Yeah, so that's what's happening. We are officially on chapter 20. We have 10 chapters now. Before 10 chapters, not including the epilogue. So that's exciting. If what I think is about to happen with Locke actually happens, I am going to commit crimes. I think that if this happens, Tarn will 120,000% have now reached the top of my most hated characters list. If what I think is about to happen happens. Because after that conversation with Locke, with the hair thing that turned. So, the coronation. Where is Cardin? Like, now, like, I feel like I'm missing him. I know that we just went through basically what my friend compared to the Red Wedding of this story, basically. Because the bodies were dropping like flies. It was crazy. But, like, where is he? And what is going to happen now? And is it bad that part of me is still like, I know we just went through this ginormous political situation, but I'm still like thinking about Taryn and Locke. What is Jude gonna do? Because she was loyal to Dane, but her father is now made it clear that he is loyal-ish to Balakin, who is staging this coup, but he's technically not king until somebody of his blood crowns him, but all of his blood is dead now, except for freaking Cardin. There's so much happening. Hello. I've had a moment to calm myself because I was honestly so shook by what happened just now that I didn't turn on. I forgot that I was vlogging, that I turned on the camera. I didn't finish. I still have 6 chapters. Okay. What the heck just happened? Because it's like, obviously he confesses that he can't stop thinking about her and it makes him sick, which made my heart flutter way too freaking much, and I hated it. Why did she kiss him? Why was her next reaction to be like, you do want me, and then kiss him? And then it proceeds to go for like the equivalent of an entire page of them of them kissing. And then we go right back to her threatening his life. Literally, this is the enemies to lovers that I want. I am so in distress and jarred. And then she's like, you really want me? And then she's like, and you hate it. And then proceeds to kiss him. And I wrote, excuse the hell out of me. Like clutching my pearls. And then we proceed into chapter freaking 26. And for the next this much, they're still kissing. So a whole page. It's a whole page. I'm gonna vomit, but not in the same way that I felt with Locke. I shouldn't immediately be down for this. But I guess technically this is what I've been waiting for. And then she immediately goes back to threatening his life and leaving him so she can go back to figure out the political plays of what's going on. If there is a word for Jude, it is baddie. Okay? Girl boss. Leave him guessing. Leave the boys guessing. Never let them know what your next move is. And true to that, she definitely had me shook. Because I didn't think she'd actually do it. But you know, that's my fault. Because how dare I underestimate what she's willing to do at this point, right? He's very clearly obsessed with her. She very clearly doesn't know that she is also, like, obsessed with him. Like, it's actually so disgusting. But, like, that was the most fun I've had the entire book. Like, I was freaking the F out. Yes. I was freaking out. However, it was fun. It was a fun freak out. This is the slow burn I wanted, like him being foul the whole time, and then suddenly the tension gets too big for them. She's like living off the high of having power over him and decides to use it to kiss him. And then we're gonna probably proceed to them just hating each other again all through the rest of this book and into the next book. And potentially the third one. I am quite literally thriving right now. I'm a little less angry about the whole Tar and Locke thing. I know that this whole thing has been me like literally crapping on Taran and Locke specifically, but as we've been shown, it was all valid. So, hate Taran, she is now my most hated fictional character ever. She has managed to dethrone Ichigo from, what is it, freaking Darling in the Franxx, which is crazy. I honestly never thought that would happen. But no, because there's never been somebody I've hated so immediately as Taran. And then she just continued to stack onto reasons why I hate her. I finished the book and it is 1 a.m. So technically I didn't get it done in the day that I wanted to because I'm a slow reader, and I also was doing a lot of reacting, a lot of moving, a lot of discussing. There was a lot that happened in this last bit of the book. All the good things. But it's like the whole time that this was happening, the whole time we were having a plan. Like, first of all, I knew that the plan was gonna work because, as is the rule of plans and heists and things like that, if you don't tell all the details of the plan to the reader / consumer of the content, then it's gonna go fine. It's gonna work, or at least for the most part, it's gonna be fine. Any details that you give us can and probably will not go as planned. So they didn't tell us a whole lot of what was happening. They just gave us the baseline of like the generic 5-point systems, like get in, get. I know that get in was the first one and get out was the last piece of the plan, and that's what they told Carden. And there was something in me that just felt like there was no way that they were actually going to crown Oak, because I was also wondering, hey, you might be able to fight off some people for a while, but how are you going to keep people from taking the throne? Because I know her plan was to stay, Jude. Her plan was to stay and, make sure everything was fine for the 7 to 10 years that Oak was off in the human world, developing as a person to not be a trash human being like the other Fae. But I was, there was that little bit. I was like, how is this human girl gonna be able to keep everyone, including Balakin and Matic, off the throne? It's the way that even as the reader, I'm in her head the whole time. And she still managed to lie to me. Most of my thoughts thus far have not been on the writing. It's been on the content, specifically this content that has shook me. But this is like completely encapsulating how good of a writer Holly Black is. I think I know I've only read one book. This is the only book by her that I've read. However, the entire time I was locked in. It's like it did take me a little while to actually do it, and that's not because of her writing, but that was just because of me and my situation, my life, and my attention span. But once I just sat down and committed, I was locked the F in. I was in like a constant spiral through this book, like constantly rolling downhill. There was not a single moment where I wasn't full of anxiety and stress. And the way that she was able to make me, like, despite everything, despite constantly reminding us that Jude could lie, to make me trust Jude so wholeheartedly, and still she managed to lie to me, the reader, who is literally in her head the whole time, and end up crowning Cardan as the king, is so good. Because it's like, in my head, I was sitting here like, that's what's gonna happen, but because I couldn't even, because Holly Black had made me trust Jude more than I trust myself. Every time she made it clear, hey, this is the plan, this is what I'm gonna do, and kept saying it, even though I knew she could be a liar, and that's what she was telling everyone else, I was like, that's what's gonna happen. That didn't happen. And I love that for multiple reasons. Obviously, because yay, good writing. We love a little twist, but also because it's given us that tension between Cardan and Jude that I love. Not romance tension, but that genuine enemy tension. Like, for that last little bit of the story, they were kind of starting to become not friends, but at the very least allies. Because Jude, Cardan had something Jude wanted, and Jude was willing to give Cardan what he wanted, kind of situation. And so they were begrudgingly working together. They had shared that little kiss situation, so they clearly have that attraction to each other. And and then we got little bits of banter in there and stuff like that. And so we were getting little snippets of them potentially warming up to each other, and at the very least trusting each other, because what else could they do? And to have her, with her whole chest, betray him in front of everybody, it hurt my heart. Because when I realized what the F was happening, I was like, oh my gosh. It hurt. Even before they described how his reaction to it, it hurted. And then the silent rage is worse than him going off on her. He just goes about his business, his clever, charming self, and acts like nothing's wrong. But she knows, because obviously she would know. But then also he makes sure that she knows, just through his eyes and his words. And it's just ugh. And the fact that she only has a year and a day to convince him to stay the king until Oak is ready is so stressful. It's so stressful, but I love it because it's we've got that ticking time bomb situation. So that's gonna be going on in the next book, which is so exciting. What else? Her name, her code name in the Court of Shadows being the Queen. I get why that now is true. It's I don't know why I didn't think of that sooner. This was a wild ride of a story, and I had a great time. Obviously, a lot of these clips are me being enraged. But it was still really fun. It was a fun mad. I promise I had a good time. Reading is so fun. I kept saying that to my friend. I was like, gosh, I forgot how much I actually like reading. So this was a grand old time. And I hope you enjoyed seeing me crash out every 2 seconds. We're not gonna go into this. We're not getting into another rant. I'm so sorry. Anyway, let me know down in the comments all your thoughts. If you've read the book, fantastic. If any of the jibber jabber ramblings that I went on made you want to read the book, let me know. And if you're reading the book currently, like, keep me updated. Like, give me like a play-by-play of how your reading experience is. Yeah, with that being said, if you want to see my pretty face again, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!